get on to the second part of this conversation. As y'all know by now, the Jacksonville Jaguars acquired Mac Jones, former first-round pick quarterback from the New England Patriots, right? I don't really have the compensation details offhand. So if y'all got the compensation details on hand, please drop that in the chat for me. But my very first thought when I seen that was, okay, you see the elevated level of importance of addressing your quarterback 2 position. This dude was just a first-round pick. It didn't work in New England. But now you go to Jacksonville, where he's from, by the way, and you become Trevor Lawrence's backup. And at the naked eye, the first thought I had was that's a pretty damn solid quarterback room now. Because to me, if Trevor Lawrence was to get hurt, now they have a pretty decent insurance policy, a dude that got starting experience, that's young, and that was a first-round pick to step in, play a couple games, and hopefully win a game or 2. We seen throughout the NFL last year, I think 7 or 8 starting quarterbacks got hurt to the point of, I think it was 22% of the league starters suffered a season-ending injury. And then there were others that actually missed a game or 2 due to injury. You seen the elevated importance of having a quality backup quarterback put on full display last season throughout the entire NFL. You know, luckily for the Cleveland Browns, and this is what makes last season so damn special, when you actually sit back, the emotions is kind of settled, and you look at everything like, damn, man, we really started 5 quarterbacks and made the playoffs. It is so hard to win in the NFL with your starting quarterback. So imagine how tough it is when you rolling out QB2 and QB3. And it's like, you just see this is the first significant move of I need to get me a quality backup quarterback, which kind of brings this thing full circle back to the Cleveland Browns. I'm like the rest of the Browns fans, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if you want Flacco back to be Deshaun Watson's backup. Drop a 2 in the chat if you want Jacoby Brissett back. And drop a 3 in the chat if you want somebody else. But here's the thing. Okay, New England got Nicholas Donovan. Shout out to you, man. New England got a 5th-round pick for Mac Jones from Jacksonville. Thanks for that info, bro. Appreciate that. A lot of 1s in the chat, 1 or 2. Okay, so a lot of people was on the same bandwagon, same wave lift that I'm on. You either want Joe Flacco or Jacoby Brissett to be Deshaun Watson's backup. 2 guys that you know, 2 guys that you trust. I'm all for it. What started to make me nervous and what scares me now is I think Flacco might go be that bridge quarterback in New England. I think everything is lining up for Flacco to go be the starting quarterback in New England. Comeback player of the year, balled his ass off with Alex Van Pelt as the offensive coordinator, with, you know, Mayo being the type of defensive-minded head coach that he is in New England. AVP is going to have his hands all over like the offense and being responsible for the install, being responsible for the play calling, etc. Then he already snagged a couple of coaches that was here on the Cleveland Browns coaching staff and took him with him. And so I know Flacco has talked about, you know, if he's going to return as a backup, Cleveland is his first choice. And thank you. Like, you're our first choice too, Joe. Trust me. But I think a true chance to being a starting quarterback this upcoming season has now seriously presented itself on this Sunday. Which means now I think the importance of making sure that you can, you know, possibly get a Jacoby Brissett in here or somebody else for that matter is very, very important. You heard Andrew Berry talk at the end of the season that the Cleveland Browns is going to carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster this upcoming year. We don't know what that's going to look like offhand, but I would definitely love to have a quality QB2, somebody that we know if Deshaun Watson gets hurt, he can step in and he can win some games, but somebody that can also be a mentor to DTR, because DTR at the end of the day is still the long-term investment as the Browns backup quarterback. And so I when I seen that trade today, two thoughts instantly came to my mind. You're starting to see the elevated importance of the QB2 position. And shout out to Hayden Grove of Cleveland.com, who posed a question on X. He said, is the QB2 position becoming more important than running back one? And I quote tweeted it and I said that QB2 is definitely a top 5 priority of every NFL team. And I think what you've seen happen last year throughout the entire landscape of the NFL has heightened the importance of that position. And you see teams going out here moving fast to address it, and they're doing it in a good way. Mac Jones might not be a starting quarterback in the NFL again ever. But if you giving me a dude who's been in the NFL 3 or 4 years, that was a first round pick, that even though he struggled, he still has starting experience because there's still lessons to be learned in your struggles. And I can bring him in to back up my superstar and Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to take that every day of the week, especially with the hopes is that Trevor Lawrence don't get hurt and I never have to use that dude. And I think when you look at our situation here in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson coming off the shoulder surgery, I can't say 2 S words back to back. It messed me up. I don't know if anybody else is like that. You see, I had to slow down. Shoulder surgery. When you coming off shoulder surgery, there is cause for pause because it's a unique injury. Not many quarterbacks suffer the type of injury that Deshaun Watson suffered this past season. I think he's going to be fine, but if he's not, you got to have a viable option in there to be able to step up, step in, and continue this train. I think that we learned a lot about our team, and Andrew Berry learned a lot about his team last year through the adversity. What he realized was that even without Deshaun Watson, I still got a roster that can really chase down, at minimum, an AFC championship appearance. Now, I know some people might be like, what the hell is you talking about? The Houston Texans blew us out. But if you remember when D'Anthony Bell was on our show, he was saying, they had a lot of film on us. They basically used everything against us that we didn't do well, and it worked. And basically, a lot of us picked the wrong day to have our worst game of the season. But if you look at this team, this is a team that can still get the job done without Deshaun Watson being there. And so the lesson learned was I need to make sure that I always have a quality veteran backup quarterback on this team, because the reality is 52 other men can't suffer just because Deshaun Watson might not be available. 52 other men still have the common goal of reaching and winning the Super Bowl. We learned a lot about the Cleveland Browns in 2023, and I think all of those lessons can be applied going forward. That's going to make us a more legit contender next year than we were last year. You've already went and got Jerry Jeudy via trade. It'd be interesting to see now with Mac Jones going to Jacksonville to back up Trevor Lawrence, which one of these guys, Jacoby Brissett or Joe Flacco or other, ends up in New England as that bridge quarterback to the guy that they're going to draft this upcoming April. And so to me, that has a direct impact on what the Cleveland Browns may do, how they may go about things, or how fast they may move to go get themselves another quarterback. But no matter what you do, you need to add a veteran quarterback to this roster, somebody that's quality, not just the dude. And if it costs you $8 to $10 million to do so, then damn it, that's the price you got to pay. Because not only will Andrew Berry do so, I think you're going to start to see GMs across the NFL in general get creative about how they go about acquiring that said backup quarterback.